United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Flag of America, red, white, and blue. Flag of America, a salute we give to you.
Please be seated.
Say bye. And that was the Pledge of Allegiance by students from the Miramar Early Childhood Academy right here in the city. Show them some love. You guys are so cute. Super cute. Aww. Wasn't that so cute? Super, super cute. All right. And now we will hear the Pledge of Allegiance from Miss Rochelle Lightfoot, who is the sweetheart of song, and she will now sing the national anthem. Please stand.
Oh, sing, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, and the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets that glare on the bursting in air gave proof to the night that was still there. Thank you.
Now I would like to introduce the Miramar elected officials that you, the residents of Miramar, elected. I'd like to introduce, oh yes, please be seated, I'm sorry, I forgot. Please don't stand this whole thing, I apologize. Yes, please be seated. So right now I would like, as I said, to introduce the Miramar elected officials. First, the Vice Mayor, Alexandra P. Davis. Commissioner Winston Barnes. Commissioner Maxwell B. Chambers, my buddy. Hey, Max. Commissioner Yvette Colburn. And these are the elected officials that fight for you every single day. So show them another round of applause, please. And I would also like to introduce visiting officials that are here today. Ms. Patty Good, she's from Broward County School Board. David Williams Jr., who's from the city of Miami Gardens, our neighbors. Oliver Mayer, who is the council, I might get this wrong, Council General of Jamaica, my apologies. Welcome, welcome. And we are also honored to have with us special guests from neighboring cities and from the island of Jamaica, Mayor of Kingston and St. Andrew, His Worship the Mayor, Senator Delroy Williams, and with him, the Chief Executive Officer, Administrative Head, and Chief Advisor to the Mayor and Council, Mr. Robert Hill. Welcome. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
So every time I look at all of the accomplishments that our various departments were sending over in terms of objectives that were achieved, we really had a chore in terms of what we could fit on your brochure that you have that lists all of our department successes, which therefore says how successful our city is. And I'm just so proud of our city staff and all of the accomplishments we've been able to do as a community. So at this time, I do want to take a brief moment and recognize every department. I'm not going to go over all of their accomplishments that you see on the screen. There's about a few screens after this, but we actually had to abbreviate all of the accomplishments of our staff. But I want to recognize our city clerk and the city clerk's office. Let's give them a round of applause. Our office, the office of the city manager, Vernon E. Hargray. I know who's here. Our cultural affairs department, this is their home, we're in their baby, and they bring all sorts of cultural entertainment and resources to the community. Community development that does all of our planning, our building officials, and all of the planning for the city of Miramar. Community services that takes care of all of the important social service needs in our community. Let's give them a round of applause. Economic and business development. This is a new department we actually founded. It was very important for us to start this department because as Miramar at one point was the fastest growing city in America. So a lot of our community and economic services needs were more so on the planning side. But now that we've become a mature city, we have to make sure that we continue to nurture economic activity, and it's very fitting to have this new department, and we're looking to see their long list of accomplishments in the upcoming fiscal year. Our Business Inclusion Diversity Program, that was noted earlier. We did a disparity study in the city of Miramar, and we saw that women-owned and minority business were not getting their equitable share of contracting opportunities, and we're looking for the maturing of policies to make sure that we correct that. Engineering services that deals with our trafficking and all of our infrastructure needs. Financial services department, yes. One half of our first responders, the Miramar Fire Rescue Department. Human resources, we have over 1,000 employees and they're a handful to manage, so we have the best professionals managing that. Information technology, thanks for providing us our networking, our computers, and protecting us from especially all the cyber threats. You would not imagine all of the attacks on our information systems that we receive from the outside to try to penetrate our data. And we thank you for being that stopgap for us. Management and budget. They're probably the least favorite department because they tell everyone they can't spend the money that they think they have, right? Marketing and communications. Let's give them a round of applause. Parks and Recs department, they keep us physically fit, yes. And the other half of our first responders, the police department, Miramar PD, yes. Procurement, everything that we need, we have to go through procurement to make sure that we have the right resources for the city. And wow, public works. We can't say thank you enough for all that you do in the community. And our support services department, and our very hard-working utilities department. I mean, they do some hard work, because all we do is when we wake up, we turn on a faucet and we want clean water, right? Right? And then when we use the other services, we expect it to disappear and go away, right? Well, someone has to manage all of that, so we thank them for all that they do. So we're going to quickly take a look over the past year, and we'll cover 3 areas: economic development, our business climate, and the quality of life for our residents. So first, let's look at our business climate. I can truly say that our business climate is very strong and continues to grow. Did you know Miramar continues to have one of the fastest growing economies in the country for a city of our size? Yes, we do. We're creating and continue to create high-paying jobs in the city of Miramar. We're actually diversifying our economy. You know, Miramar is known for a very heavy and successful aviation sector, but our health sciences sector is growing. We have a growing technology sector where we've been able to attract and grow information technology companies. And we still claim the most Fortune 500 companies in any city in the Tri-County area. Many people still don't realize that, but that's a great success for us to have. So when you look over the last 4 years, from 2014 to 2019, there's been $323 million in capital investment, meaning companies that have come here, built their businesses here to operate. We've added over 1.2 million square feet of space, over 1,600 high-paying jobs, averaging $65,000 or more per year. That supports the middle class in our community. And what I really like is, just in this past year, 370 new small businesses were birthed in the city of Miramar. So we are really busy. And we get the time. This is just a sample of the types of brands and companies that are in the city of Miramar. We couldn't even fit all of them on the screen. So we really have a lot to be thankful for. And the reason why we're able to house and be the home of all of these businesses is because of strategic planning to decide to put a focus and emphasis on going light industrial office space opposed to big box retails. Like, for example, Pembroke Pines. They tend to have the malls, the shopping. We always get the complaints, well, why don't we have all the fancy restaurants in Miramar? Well, that was a strategy for Pembroke Pines. Our strategy was to build millions of square feet of office space, of industrial space, and retail space. And because of that, I'll take our high-paying jobs, and nothing against retail jobs, nothing against restaurant jobs, because those are jobs that put food on the table for people, and we're not discriminating against that. But we're in a stronger position when we can actually provide high-paying jobs for our residents because they can afford to live in the city of Miramar and be able to build and get the quality of life and achieve the American dreams for each respective family. I want to highlight a couple of businesses that are coming up in developments. Some of our last remaining open space is being developed. And Monarch Town Center is actually on the northwest intersection of Flamingo Road and Miramar Parkway. And it will be anchored by another Publix and Ross. Some folks are saying, well, why is Publix building another Publix and they just have another Publix right down in Monarch Lakes? Well, they're smart, because they know if they don't build a Publix, then maybe a Winn-Dixie will get there, or a Whole Foods will get there, and you'll see soon another shopping center is coming across the street to compete against them. So that shows how confident that Publix is in Miramar, that they're willing to build another Publix not more than a mile away from another Publix, because they know that they have the support. The Grove, which is located on the southeast intersection of Miramar Boulevard, just a quarter mile north of that same intersection. It's well on its way. This is one of the more recent pictures you see here, probably taken just this week. They're putting in the landscaping right now. It has 27,000 square feet of retail shopping, and it's very conveniently located for and providing an additional shopping experience and services for central Miramar. The Mega Center, probably saying, well, where's the Mega Center? Well, the Mega Center is just south of the Turnpike, right between the Hard Rock Stadium and our side of the Turnpike. It's 267 square feet office, warehouse, and self-storage right off of Riviera Boulevard. You can access it off of University. And it provides additional space for businesses to come. And we're really excited about that prospects. Miramar Station. Remember I told you Publix was afraid of another shopping center coming? Well, there's Aldi. Aldi is coming right across the street. And we're getting another Chick-fil-A. I don't know, it's something they put in that meat. I don't know what it is, right? You cannot go to a Chick-fil-A and there are not at least 50 cars in queue. But our planning department made sure that they made provisions to have all of those cars. I know everybody was freaking out about Popeyes and their sandwich, their chicken sandwich that they have, and now that it's out of stock, you can't find it anywhere, but you're gonna get your chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A, and they'll give it to you within 5 minutes of you joining that 50 car queue. So we're really excited about that, and it'll also have some apartments in the development. Now, for point of reference, this was the old site where the entire city went up in arms over 10 years ago because Walmart wanted to build a Walmart there, and no one wanted Walmart in that facility. Wild times have changed, right? But now we have a great mixed-use development. Now, the gateway of our community, right here on Red Road and Miramar Parkway, we have a tremendous opportunity of development, and the property owners there are very strategic and conservative in terms of their approach, in terms of what should be there. And one of the developments that is coming and currently right now in permitting is Altus. Altus is another mixed-use development it's on the northwest intersection of Miramar Parkway and Red Road. It's 650 units, 50,000 square feet of commercial and retail. I think a Flanagan's restaurant is already committed there, and there'll be other retail operators in that section. Another great feature, though, in this development is it will be a linear park that will be open to the community. And there's actually a bike trail that's located on the northern part of that development, and you can access it just right here off of Town Center. So that's going to be a very good project to help define the entry of our city. Now let's look at the hotel corridors at I-75 and the Turnpike. 10 years ago, hotel rooms were scarce in the city of Miramar. Now, as you see along I-75, all the brands that are there, and in fact, there's another Hilton brand called True that is coming. A new Holiday Inn Express is coming as well. And then when you travel over to Turnpike and I-75, Spring Hill Suites has just opened up. Hampton Inns is there. Wood Spring Suites has just opened up. And in this site right here, there's communication right here for another number of hotel units that will come in that development. So now we have nearly 1,000 hotel rooms in the city of Miramar. And believe it or not, we actually need more. When you think about all the businesses that are here, all the families that are here, families are hosting family reunions, Thanksgivings, holidays. So these hotel rooms are needed. Now moving on to economic development. You see numbers on these screens, and if this room was full of analysts, they would be jumping up, clapping, screaming, because they know that these are metrics that shows a very strong city. 3.2% unemployment rate. We have one of the lowest unemployment rates in the country. No city has 0% unemployment rate. But in the city of Miramar, pretty much everyone who wants to work has a job, even though we continue to work hard to get those a job who currently do not have a job. And it's really important to emphasize the fact. And our rate actually beats Broward County and all of the state. Almost 8,000 building permits were issued last year, in excess of over $250 million in construction value. What that means is that there are companies, property owners that are either renovating their property or building new projects in the city of Miramar. That continues to fuel our growth because the demand is that high. You know, myself and our colleagues, one of the biggest challenges we have is when residents, when each of you say, well, I'm paying too much in property taxes. Well, first, we're only responsible for 1/3 of your property taxes. So make sure you crowd up and see Ms. Good at the school board, and you go to Broward County and talk to them as well. But on average, over the last 5 years, your homes have appreciated nearly 8% 5 years running. That is amazing. And what that means is that the demand to live in Miramar continues to grow because we have excellent schools, we have excellent facilities, excellent parks, and jobs are here in our community. And we also continue to enjoy a very strong credit rating by the industry raters. So why did they come? Well, first, it's our central location. Miramar is 30 minutes from everywhere. 30 minutes to MIA, 30 minutes to Fort Lauderdale Airport, to both seaports. You can touch Palm Beach County and Boca in 30 minutes. So access is great. We have I-75 coming through Miramar, the Turnpike coming through Miramar. So our location could not be a better location. So we're conveniently located. Also, we're Platinum City. When the Greater Fort Lauderdale Alliance is going across the country, attracting businesses to move to Broward County, guess who's the #1 city, or the first city that they contact? It's Miramar. Because we expedite permitting, we have a supply of space for the businesses, whether they're industrial or office, we can accommodate them. We have a foreign trade zone just right down the street. I'm really looking hard to attract international businesses to come. You know, I'm glad to have our friend Mayor Williams here from Kingston, who we're always talking, we're always introducing businesses here and in Jamaica to inform them about our foreign trade zone so that we can see how we can get more import and export exchange so that we can create jobs here and have a great mutually benefiting relationship. We have many corporate attractive incentives. The state of Florida gives job creation incentives. We match with Broward County. And we also have our own city job creation incentives to help attract businesses. And we'll talk about this later with our Economic Development Fund, small business assistance programs. We've always had those programs, but now we're in a position to even expand those offerings because of the action of the Miramar City Commission. Now, my favorite part, residents' quality of life, because that's what it's really about in terms of our success over the year. Look at all those points. I won't go into all of them, but over the last year, we've done citywide renovations to our parks, and they continue. We opened up Monarch Lakes Park. We refurbished Island Drive that had some damage and some mishaps during the hurricane. One of the vendors cut down all of our beautiful trees, and we had to go in and redo. That was a chore, you know, making those claims with that contractor. We already talked about the appreciation of a property appreciation. We've done significant improvements in terms of our infrastructure out in historic East Miramar, and we'll discuss that in a bit. In fact, we've spent and are spending $160 million in infrastructure in East Miramar. We always hear that we want the East to look like the West. Well, that probably won't happen because those neighborhoods were built in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So architecturally, it's just different. But that does not mean that we can't have the best infrastructure. When it rains, it doesn't flood. That doesn't mean that we can't have the best and cleanest water. Right? And it doesn't mean that we can't fix our roadways so the communities are pleasing and attractive. And we are doing that as a city commission in the city of Miramar. We're actually PACE. PACE is a program that's quietly allowing residents to weatherize their homes, harden their homes, to put impact windows, to repair their roofs, to improve their HVAC or air conditioning systems, to more high efficiency units to lower their water bills while keeping their indoor interior climates pleasant for their homes. And we've done over 1,100 projects that Miramar residents have been able to do through that program. So I thank the Miramar Commission for having that vision and that insight to implement that program. Now this next slide, we talked about the census 2020. It is vital that everyone in Miramar stands up and be counted. Why? There's $675 billion from the federal government that is at stake. And the larger our population is, the more say we have in terms of getting those dollars. It will be quick, it will be easy. Look forward to seeing more information coming from our city regarding how you can conveniently and easily be counted, because it'll help fund our hospitals, our schools, our roadways, and housing. So it's important when you get that package in the mail that your family and your household responds. So let's look at some of the residential activity. That is the 8-story development that's coming right across the street. If you were to stand right by, let's say if you're at the Dunkin' Donuts looking back towards City Hall, there's City Hall there, that's the parking lot, and this is the development that will come, the mixed use. It will be residential on the top floors, retail on the bottom floor, synergizing across the street, and on this side. So we're really excited about this development for Block 2. We talked about the high-paying jobs and appreciation, but this is the activity on the residential side. So let's look at some of the residential developments that are on the way in the city of Miramar, because it's very active. When we look at historic Miramar, because we always hear about historic Miramar. So we're putting to rest that nothing's being done in East Miramar, because there is. Habitat for Humanity has several developments going on. My colleagues were able to participate in a groundbreaking ceremony just a couple of months ago. Palms at Miramar, located at Southwest 64th and 27th Street, 9 units there. Positano Villas, 35 units, right by Snake Warriors Island Park. That's coming, that's on 62nd. Martin Apartments, another 8 units. These are some, modern looking buildings in East Miramar that will be providing residential units for our residents, affordable and workforce housing. Because that's one of the big challenges. When you're redeveloping an area in a community, one of the challenges is there going to be gentrification that's going to take place. People in the community that have lived there for years no longer now can afford to live in their communities that's been home for them for generations. But we're working very hard as a city commission to ensure that developments have a certain number of affordable units. And I want to put a spotlight on a couple of affordable units for our most vulnerable and prized population. That's our senior population. St. John the Blessed, the Miami Archdiocese, has in planning across from Miramar Regional Park 113 senior affordable housing units. They're doing an application for a tax credit development with the state of Florida to build these units where this will be affordable housing. This won't be a country club where you got to be rich and paid to be able to afford to be in there. They will be mandated to provide a certain percentage to very low income, and perhaps maybe a couple of market rate units. But a majority of these units will be affordable units for our seniors, because many of our seniors call us every day to say that they cannot find a place in Miramar to reside. Pinnacle is a P3. What is a P3? Well, it's simply a public-private partnership. The state of Florida allows municipal governments to leverage their resources with the private sector to solve problems in our communities. 100+ senior affordable units. It's going to be on the north side of Miramar Parkway and Douglas Road. That's the location of our old police headquarters that got damaged in Wilma back in 2005. Right next door to the adult daycare center. It will be specifically for senior affordable housing, and we're really excited about this prospects. Najiba Gardens. We just had a groundbreaking a few months ago, not groundbreaking, but a ribbon cutting. A developer in East Miramar he has 2 phases, just finished phase 1. It's located 64th Avenue and 26th Street. These are affordable housing. These are beautiful looking developments in nice neighborhoods in East Miramar. So these developments is making it possible for Miramar residents to stay in Miramar and not be pushed out because of market rate. And that's a big challenge for us. Just last year, we were shocked when we found out that Miramar was the least affordable city in all of Florida. Can you believe that? The least affordable. It's not a laughing matter. Because to be a vibrant and strong community, you have to have a diversity of housing stock for everyone on every level of the socioeconomic ladder. We cannot be a community of the haves and have-nots. And that's why working hard to provide solutions for affordable housing is important. And boy, everyone knows that the city of Miramar can put on some events, right? So these are the upcoming city events that's coming up next year, so stay tuned. We have our staple events, and we try our best to bring the community together to have fun activities in the city of Miramar. Public safety is key for the quality of life for our residents, and we broke ground on the public safety facility in historic Miramar, right next door to H.D. Perry by the swimming pool, right? We'll soon have a police station on the east side of town. Miramar is very linear. We have our brand new state-of-the-art police headquarters here at Town Center and Sunset Lakes. We have our West District office, and now on the east side of town, we'll also have another public safety facility that will have a community room where community organizations can meet, and the community can be assured that there is a police presence in the community. And boy, we have a fantastic cultural season coming up here in the Cultural Center. Last Saturday, who was here for the Tasha Cobbs concert? It was not a concert, it was a worship experience. She tore the house down by opening up our doors and having the presence of the Lord fill the halls of this theater. It was a wonderful experience, and everyone who was here can attest to that. And as you can see, we have performances like Layla Hathaway, Babyface, Africa Umoja. We have ballet coming, we have symphony coming, we have drumline coming. We just have a very great lineup for our cultural season for this year. And our parks. Our park system in Miramar is perhaps the most utilized service that we offer here in the city of Miramar. We have over 40. And over the past year, we've resurfaced at Anson Park the tennis courts, several basketball courts, and we will have an upcoming skate park that's coming, and a highly anticipated BART park that will be at Regional Park. You will be surprised how many dog owners, dog lovers, their sons and their daughters, yes, their sons, and that's what they call them. I don't have any dogs, but dogs are a part of families, and they are so ecstatic about the dog park, and our teens are really looking forward to the skate park that will be coming forward as well. And the Miramar Amphitheater has basically transformed entertainment in the city of Miramar. This past weekend was the Creole Cultural Fest, perhaps the largest international performing lineup that has ever performed in Miramar. And in November 10th, the Grace Jamaican Jerk Festival is coming to Miramar at the amphitheater. We don't have to drive all the way to Sunrise anymore and deal with the mile-long walk out of that parking area to get to the food and the music. So we're really excited about the Grace Jamaican Jerk Festival that will come up. And you can get tickets here at the Cultural Center and at the amphitheater on Ticketmaster.com. So make sure to get your tickets before they sell out. Now that we've gone over last year and our successes, we have a lot to celebrate because we did it together as a community. And we're already working hard on this current year. But I think it's always great to give just a brief history on how we got here. Because we had some turbulent times. We had some turbulent times, and we can never forget. So let's take a look back at what happened. Back in 2008, we were hit with the financial crisis. And nationally, the auto industry was in peril. The financial markets were in peril. President Barack Obama was elected, and what was his first action he had to do before calamity hit? He had to bail out who? Wall Street, right? Then he had to follow that up and bail out the auto industry, right? Those were some turbulent times. But what did that mean for us here in Miramar? In 2009, the foreclosure period hit us hard. Miramar was perhaps one of the hardest hittest communities in terms of foreclosures, because people, two income households now became one. People were losing their homes. Many of them had these subprime mortgages, which was part of that financial fiasco, with escalating interest rates that forced them to lose their homes. And through 2011, look how 2009, and look how many more in 2011. 2009, 2011, thousands of homes. And our property values began to decrease. Blue line represents our property values. Orange, our population. What was unique to Miramar was, as our property values were decreasing, our population continued to grow. And that became a challenge. And why is that? Well, it had negative impacts on our general fund. More users, more demands on our services. When our property values were going down, that means our general fund also decreased. So we had a lot of deferred maintenance. We couldn't make repairs in the community. Our roads were bad, our parks were bad. Our new buildings that were now 10 and 15 years old now, roofs started to leak. The commission could not raise taxes on families that were losing their homes, right? So you can see the dilemma that our city commission and city staff was faced with as a growing population. And that was unique to Miramar. Additional challenges we had was that we didn't have a home for our police headquarters. Because in Wilma in 2005, we had to condemn the building. We had to vacate. Our police department was renting in a commercial space, not adequate for a police department, paying nearly $500,000 a year for rent. That was an unsustainable situation to be in. Didn't have a home for Fire Station 107 for our central area of the city, where our response times were not acceptable, when seconds could determine life or death. We didn't have an economic development fund, and the city of Miramar does not have a CRA. When the opportunity presented itself, the commission at the time decided not to take advantage of that. So we did not have an alternative funding source to meet the needs of the community outside of the general fund, which is funded by you, the taxpayer. And aging infrastructure, especially out east. Initial infrastructure that was initially built in the 50s and the 60s had never been expanded. So when it rained, it flooded, right? These were our challenges. So what did we do? Well, the first thing we did was we invested in ourselves. We invested in Miramar. In 2013, the Miramar City Commission passed a revenue bond. The revenue bond was secured by developments that we knew were coming in Miramar. Because whenever the real estate market goes down and property values goes down, people like Related and Pinnacle, that's when they start picking up property because it's cheaper. And now we can start building apartments because people aren't buying homes anymore because of all the foreclosures. Well, we need to build multifamily. So we knew we had thousands of units coming online. There's impact fees that were coming. So instead of asking you, the taxpayer, and raising your tax rates, we got a loan secured and backed by the anticipated impact fees that was coming into the city. And that was able to fund our new police headquarters that we enjoy right now. It built several parks. It built Fire Station 107. It built the amphitheater. It built infrastructure projects. So what else did we do? We invested $160 million in our infrastructure in East Miramar because we knew that West was built out, and whenever the city builds out, then it becomes redevelopment. Well, you're not going to attract the developers that we just saw that was providing these affordable housing units if our streets are flooding. So we had to invest in our stormwater management system, our water distribution lines, and consider putting a public safety facility out east. We had to do all the unsexy things to lay the groundwork for the future of our city. We've completed phase 1, 22 million. Phase 2, 4.7 million. Phase 3, 22.7 we've done. We're currently right now working just east of the Turnpike, and we still have phase 5 and 4 to do to improve the infrastructure in East Miramar. But what are the benefits? Neighborhood enhancements, increasing property values, quality of life. This was a reality for many residents, flooding every time it rained, to now where we've gotten proper storm drainage in our communities. So if you ever hear someone says that nothing is being done in East Miramar, you need to check them. Because you see it. And we have the proof to show it. Because we definitely get the phone calls. Now people are calling us not because it's flooding, because they're complaining about the contractor broke their sprinkler line, or they can't drive in their driveway because they're putting in piping on their streets. But those are the growing pains of progress. So just be patient with us. I briefly illustrated what we had to do first. Before we can do vertical improvements, that's what you see. When you see the Starbucks or the new Caribbean restaurant in the new building, that's what you see. But before, with the Broward School District, FIU, current property owners along Miramar with the Publix and the adjacent properties, to see how we can bring that to life, creating a brand new downtown historic East Miramar with the transit hub with Broward County providing the transit artery and resources. It's the reality that can be. So Miramar, when I ask you to imagine, this is not fiction. This is a reality that can take place and will take place. So we have to challenge ourselves to come out of the norm. The mayor cannot think about as much, perhaps, events. But what are the hard, heavy lifting things we have to do, the people we have to talk to, working with the Miramar City Commission, our staff, and our residents, to do the things that are necessary to make this a reality. That's what makes me motivated. That's what gets me excited. I won't be the mayor here 15 years from now. The current commission won't be here 15 years from now. But 15 years from now, each of us can look back and say, we stood side by side, arms locked, and made the tough decisions together with our residents, with our corporate community, and our city staff to bring this to life. So Miramar, I can stand before you today and say that the state of our city is strong as it's ever been. And we will be much stronger when we work together to imagine a Miramar that can service the future of Miramar. God bless you. Thank you for coming out. And I'll turn the program back over to our hostess, Miss Super Cindy. I look forward to seeing you next door, where we have some airline tickets to give away and some other raffles to give away. So thank you so much. Thank you for not falling asleep on this presentation. And I'll see you next door in a minute.
If you want guaranteed big results in a short amount of time and your business is targeting Haitian consumers, you need to advertise with La Floridien. La Floridien is South Florida's most read Haitian newspaper with the largest circulation in Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. La Floridien is an independently owned free Haitian newspaper established in 2001 that comes out the 1st and 15th of every month. Keep up to date with the latest community news, political news, entertainment, sports, and social events in the Haitian community. Learn more at lefloridien.com. That's LEFLORIDIEN.com or call 305-610-7481. 305-610-7481.